We are recording this session now. All right, so let me go back and share everything with you. All right, so you should see, of course, me share my Quizizz lesson. I'm going to also project the QR code. You also feel free, if you want to just scan on with your phone or your tablet, if you have one, you can just scan the QR code, or you just click the link that I dropped in the chat, joinmyquiz.com. And if anyone wants to just copy that link and just repost it in the chat, that would be so amazing. So we're going to go ahead and get started since we got off to a little late start. I see I have only 3 people in here. Now, if you don't want to join in the live lesson, you'll be able to watch along on the Zoom screen, but I'm going to go ahead and start this lesson. This is all about Quizizz AI, how you can plan in seconds and not weekends. I have some great information for you. Just a reminder though, I want you to make sure that you sign into that quiz, sign into the session link that I shared with you. You should be able to just click on that link that I put in the chat and sign in, and we're going to keep it moving. So the first question I have, I'm just modeling some Quizizz questions. How familiar are you with Quizizz AI? And this is just a poll question, and you may be a pro at Quizizz AI, so you're like, wait, what is Quizizz AI? That's fine. Or I've heard of Quizizz AI and but never used it. That is perfectly fine. And you may be somewhere in between. So by the time we finish this session, my goal is to at least have you comfortable with using Quizizz AI. All right, so I have another question for you. And this is one of our open response question types. So what questions do you have about Quizizz AI that you're hoping to get answered today? And I'm going to do my very best, you all, to make sure that I address your question during this session. And whatever you put is going to help guide how deep or whatever I show in Quizizz with AI. So creating different versions of a quiz from an existing quiz, okay, and how to differentiate, is it better from how different is it from the regular quizzes? And if a question is generated by AI, adjust the questions for our needs. Absolutely. So I'm going to show you how you can differentiate instruction and your assessments. How can I use it when I have 15 minutes left of class? I got you on that. I'm very inexperienced with AI, so not really sure. That's okay, Pepper. So I am going to address all of those questions for you. So our agenda for today, you all, is just really to give a quick intro to Quizizz, especially for those of you who are new to Quizizz. But then we're going to talk about the different ways that you can use Quizizz AI, from creating content to enhancing or modifying content to make it better. And also with Enhance, you can differentiate the content. I'm even going to show you how you can use Quizizz AI Analyze to help analyze what students have done on an assessment, and then make some suggestions and identify some resources that you can use to help those students with whatever they did. And then finally, if we have time, we're going to look at some accommodations. So looking at what we can do, I'm going to show you, first of all, how we're going to create this content. But before we get started, I am Felisa Ford, everyone. I am a Quizizz Professional Learning Specialist, and I am extremely excited to be with you today. So let's go ahead and talk about what we can do with Quizizz AI. It can help us tap into limitless potential of Quizizz AI to support, engage, and motivate every student or every learner in the classroom. And it's also going to help make your life a little easier. So what is Quizizz? For those of you that are new to Quizizz, it is a student-centered, teacher-powered, interactive learning platform. And I know that was a lot, but just know that Quizizz is all about learning. It's all about engagement. Students are having fun while they're learning, but it also motivates students to mastery. With Quizizz, you can provide instruction, reinforcement, and even practice or review. We have 4 different activity types in Quizizz. We have a quiz, the lesson, passages, and interactive videos. And then we have a variety of media that you can use with Quizizz, from 20 different question types that you can use, as well as a variety of media that you can add to any quiz, question, or lesson, whether it's an image or video, GIF or GIF, depending on how you choose to pronounce it. So let's go ahead and look at the activities. This is where our activities live. I'm going to show you how you can access those. And you can also use AI to help you create some of these activities as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to show you is the purple create button. This is where you can go to create any of our activity types. If you want to create an assessment, you can use AI to help you generate an assessment. So I'm just going to show you some of the different ways that you can use Quizizz. But in addition to the assessment, you can also create a lesson. Passages, this is another place where you can use AI to help you generate a passage. And I'm just going to give you an example of how we can generate a passage with AI. So if you want to type your information or paste your information, copy and paste it, you can. But I want to generate a passage using AI. So if someone want to come off mute and just give me a topic for a passage that we want to use with our students. And if you don't have a topic, don't worry. We'll just do one on maybe the water cycle. And what we can do, we have to choose the subject or choose the grade level. So we'll say that maybe this is 7th grade. And we're going to tell it how many paragraphs we want in this passage. We'll just say, for the sake of this demonstration, 4 paragraphs. And we can tell it how many questions we want. And we'll select 5 questions. I'm also going to tell it some particular skills that I may want in this passage. So I may want some information on maybe understanding word meaning about the water cycle. So maybe understanding word meaning or comprehending a text, or maybe even citing textual evidence. I can pick up to 3 skills that I want to include in this passage. And then I'm just going to have it generate a passage with questions. And let's have it generate a passage on the water cycle. You can even have it generate something on a story that you may be reading in class. So it has generated the passage for me, and it has created questions, 5 questions. I have a multiple choice question, a fill in the blank question, and an open response question. You can even come in here and add more questions if you want to this passage. You can also format the passage. It doesn't have to be just all text in the passage. You can also add an image if you want to. You could just upload an image. Maybe this is from Google Save Search, and we'll just call this the search for the water cycle. And we can just include any image in the passage. This is a way to help provide an additional scaffold or support for students. You can even record your directions, or maybe referring students back to the notes or the lesson that we did on the water cycle, and you can insert an audio clip, or you can even insert a video if you want to. If you have a video on the water cycle, or you can do a search on YouTube for a water cycle, and you can just insert a quick video on the water cycle for kids. And you could just insert this video. So these are different ways that you could really make this passage a little more rigorous. And now it is ready to publish. So I was able to quickly create a passage for my students. I would just choose the subject. Of course, this was science. You just choose whatever subject it is and choose the grade level. And if you want to add a cover image, you can. And we can just add a quick cover image. The water cycle. So we add that cover image, and now we are ready to save and publish our passage. And we are ready to assign this for our students, either for homework or practice when we assign, or if we want them to do it now in class, we can just select Start Now. So that was one way that we could create with Quizizz. I want to bring you down here to and that was just looking at the different activity types. So we're going to keep rolling because I want to show you some more ways that we can utilize Quizizz AI. And so you all, I come bearing gifts today. I am bringing you the gift of your own personal teaching assistant named Quizizz AI. And as you just got a taste of what AI can do by creating a passage, AI can do so much more. It can help you plan in seconds and not weekends. So you get your life back, you get your weekend back. You don't have to spend all of Sunday afternoon planning and creating resources and content for the upcoming week. You can let your teaching assistant do all of that work for you. So we're going to talk about how we can create content, how we can enhance it by making it more accessible, or how we can differentiate it to make it more fun as well. We even have a Chrome extension that allows you to turn any website into a quiz. And I'm going to show you some of our AI enhanced questions that you can use. You can even turn worksheets or instructional materials or even a PowerPoint into a quiz with the help of Quizizz AI. So let's first talk about what we can create. With Quizizz AI, we can do 5 things easily. We can turn or digitize any of our content or curriculum content. We can even have it digitize a PDF. We can have it turn a website, as I said, into a quiz. But most importantly, if you use Google Slides, you all, I can show you how you can turn your Google Slides into a quiz or even a lesson, turning those into a Quizizz lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to walk you through these live. So this is just looking at some of the things that are available. We have the Google Slides lesson extension that will show you how we can do this. You also can use standards and let it create an assessment from standards and then align DOK levels to those different questions. So let's go ahead and see where we can do all of this creation. So I'm going to go to the Quizizz AI tab. And if you aren't seeing what I'm showing, just look at the Zoom screen. But when I select Quizizz AI, it is one of the tabs on your Quizizz dashboard. This is where you go for all things AI and Quizizz. The first thing you're going to see is that you can download the Chrome extension. And your district may or may not allow you to do that, but there may be someone in your district, and maybe even your tech person, can either push this out or allow you to download the Chrome extension. So what can we do with the Chrome extension? So let me show you an example. Looking at the Zoom screen, I have an article from National Geographic's Kids, but it works with any of your educational resources and even with Google Docs or Google Slides if you choose to use that. So I'm just going to select the Chrome extension. I'm telling it what grade level I want to create for and how many questions I want. Now I have 2 quiz types that I can utilize. I can either have it create a multiple choice quiz or a reading comprehension quiz. So what I like to do is have it create a reading comprehension quiz. And the reason I like to do this is because it will integrate the article with the questions if you choose reading comprehension. Otherwise, if you choose multiple choice, you're going to have your multiple choice questions as a standalone quiz, and then students will still have to go back to the article to reread if they're unsure. So let's just select create a quiz, and it's going to, in less than a minute, it will generate a quiz for you based on the article. It will also identify the correct answers for you. And this is a great way if you have done this as a part of that lesson for that day and you want a quick ticket out the door. I know that was a question, what can you do in 15 minutes? You can have it create something from a website, a quick exit ticket or ticket out the door. So when I select more, show more, this is the article that it pulls in with the questions. It doesn't pull in the images, which is quite all right. All I need my students to be able to do is just go back to the text and reread it if they need to. But it pulls in questions and it selects those correct answers for me. And it also, it pulls in everything as multiple choice. If you want to change it to a different question type, you can use AI. And I'm going to get into AI, but you could use AI to modify the questions, or you can edit the individual questions and change the question type if you choose to. So once we've done that, we can just go back to the article and the quiz and let's publish it. And we, just like that, with the click of a button, we have our article created using the Chrome extension. All right, other things that we can do using Quizizz AI, we can have it create from a worksheet or a question bank. And I'm just going to show you, just clicking on this, and I'm going to upload from my device. Now you have the option if you want to import something from Google Drive, you can utilize JPEGs, PNGs. You can also utilize PowerPoints, PDFs, whatever you choose as a part of your instructional resources, you can pull those in. So let me just upload a worksheet from my device. And I think I have one on geometry. And here's a geometry worksheet. So it pulls it in. Of course, you're going to have to tell AI as it's pulling it in, you're going to have to tell it the number of questions you want. That's always going to be the first thing that you select. So I just, for the sake of this is a formative assessment. Choose the subject. So we'll say that this is math, and we'll say that this may be 9th grade math, or maybe we'll say 8th grade math. And let's generate a quiz from a worksheet. And remember, if you don't have an actual worksheet on your device, you can always take a picture of a textbook page or just a novel page and upload that image, and it can create a quiz from an image that you take a picture of. And so just like that, it has created or digitized my worksheet into a quiz. It has given the name for the quiz, and it's telling me that I need to add images to 2 questions that's missing media. So if I select add images, here are the questions, and it has pulled up the different images that were missing. So I can just use this image here because it's talking about an equilateral triangle. And then this question is talking about the perimeter of this polygon. And so maybe I can use this image. Either one of these will work. So we'll just use this one as an example, just showing you how this works, and you save your changes. So you're able to pull over the images from your worksheet into that quiz, and then you simply publish that quiz, and you are ready to have your students do this now. You can even have them do this as a pre-check, or even as formative before they leave class. Multiple ways that you can utilize these quizzes. All right, other things that we can do with AI. We can have it create from a topic or a prompt. And let me just show you how this works. If you want to paste a standard here, you could paste the standard content from a standard if you wanted to, or you can just paste your topic. So we'll just paste this standard. I think I had standard here. Determine the central idea of text. This is from, you could use your standards. Let me just copy this, and I am going to, let's see, where did it open? I'm going to paste this here, and I'm going to, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is tell it how many questions, choose my subject, and we'll just say that this may be 9th grade. Now with ELA and math, you all, you can also come in here and align it, have it aligned to standards. If you don't want to just paste the standard, you can just choose standards here and align, either to Common Core standards, or for you all, the California standards, you will select your state standards and just choose those standards that you want assessed on this particular quiz that is being created. You also, depending on the subject, you can choose the DOK level that you wanted to create for each question, from level 1, which we know is basic or recall, all the way up to level 3 with this strategic thinking, or anywhere in between. So let's continue. And it's going to immediately, it's going to ask you for some subtopics for maybe this idea. So maybe we'll say recall facts and basic concepts, or cite textual evidence for analysis, or analyze the point of view of literature. So you get to decide what are those subtopics you want assessed on this particular assessment. And it immediately begins to create your assessment for you. It identifies the correct answers. It identifies the standard for that particular question, as well as the DOK level. And you can either, if you don't like what it comes up with, you can regenerate with changes, or continue with editor, continue to the editor. And here you can see like the different DOK levels. This is just a simple recall question. And here is the standard that it has assigned, all the way up to level 3. And we publish it. So now this could be, and we can make it more than 5 questions. It could even be a summative assessment, because you can always go in and have AI add more questions if you need to. So are there any questions you all right now with anything that I've shown you about how you can create using Quizizz AI? So what I'm going to do, just for the sake of time, I'm going to give you maybe 2 minutes just to open up a new tab if you have access to Quizizz, and I want you to try to create an assessment using Quizizz AI. I'm going to put my timer on just for 2 minutes, and then I want to hear some feedback from any of you on your experience with using AI in Quizizz to create. You can go ahead and start. I have the timer going. All right, we have about 30 seconds. All right, y'all. So did anyone create an assessment using AI? And if so, I would love to hear someone share out what you created and what your thoughts were about what you created.
Hi.
Hi.
I created a quiz on chemical changes versus physical changes. I said do 10 questions for 7th grade and DOK 3, and they are amazing questions.
So that is good to hear, and thank you for sharing. And one thing that I would love to caution you all is that as the teacher, you are the final wall and checking off the accuracy for the AI. So you need to always make sure that you're looking over, making sure those questions are accurate, because it's still AI, and making sure that they are aligned to the standards that you're teaching before you assign them for homework or practice or have your students do those now. So thank you so much for that. And how easy was it for you to create this assessment?
It was so simple, very simple. But I do have a question. I put DOK 3, and I noticed on yours, it had different levels. It had 1, 2, and 3 on your quiz that you generated. So if you don't pick one, is that what happens if you don't choose a level?
So I think I chose all 3 levels, which
Oh,
is
you
probably—
can click multiple.
Yes, I
Oh,
chose
okay.
all of them, because that way my students have a variety of questions, from just a basic recall, because this way they can build their confidence in answering those questions. So yes, you can choose all of them.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so thank you for that. All right, let's next talk about how you can enhance content that you already have, or a quiz that you already have. And I know that was a question that someone asked, and we can do this with AI Enhance. And so what AI Enhance allows us to do is really to make our assessments more accessible for our students. This is a way for us to differentiate our content, but also to make our assessments relevant and fun for our students. It allows us to create assessments and differentiate with ease. So let me show you what this looks like. And if you already have a Quizizz account, you can go to your library and pull up any activity from your library. Or if you want to just search in the Quizizz library, you can just select the Explore tab and just type in an activity. But I'm just going to go to my library and pull up an activity. I have this assessment, this geometry. Actually, I'll do this geometry quiz that we created. So what I can do, anytime you pull up anything from the Quizizz library or your library, it pulls up this way. You will notice that AI Enhance is always going to be at the top. So you can select AI Enhance, or you can enhance, and this will enhance the entire quiz, every question. Or if you want to just have AI enhance a couple of questions, one at a time, then I'm going to show you an example. This is a multiple choice question. I can have AI convert this question maybe to a real world scenario question. So this question just says, this is. So I'm going to have it convert to a real world scenario. And this was just me converting one individual question. So what it has done is given some context. So this allows students to really connect and make meaning of what the question is asking. And then I can apply the changes. If I want to apply changes to the entire assessment, I'm going to select AI Enhance. And this brings me to the Enhanced dashboard, where I can have it add similar questions to this quiz. I can even have it translate the entire quiz to another language. And there are multiple languages in here. I can even have it simplify the questions or add an answer explanation. I love having AI add the answer explanation to all of the questions. And you may notice, depending on what you ask AI to do, you will get the option to save changes by duplicating this quiz and save, or save changes to this quiz. So I'm going to select duplicate this quiz and save. So this is going to give me another version, and it says this is version 2 of my quiz. So this is when you're differentiating a quiz basically by different content or by maybe answer options. You want to save a different version of it, because everyone may not need the same differentiated features. So what other things that we can do using the AI Enhance? By making it fun, we can even have it add our students' names to the question. Maybe we can have Sam and maybe Tina, and just have it enhance the questions by quickly adding their names. And you can do this throughout the year. As students love seeing their names, you can surprise them, let them see their names when they get an assessment on Friday or whenever, and we could save the changes to this quiz and other things that we could do. And I love this option to have it reduce answer options for our students, or even convert to other question types. Maybe we want to have it convert to maybe a drop down or a drag and drop question. So these are just some things that we can do and save the changes. So having seen what AI Enhance can do to modify your content or modify your quizzes, let's take a look to see. I would love your thought. We don't have to worry about, if you want to take maybe 2 minutes to just play around with AI Enhance. I know we still have to get through some other things, so I'm going to keep going, but I definitely want you, even after this session is over, play around with how you can use AI Enhance to modify or differentiate your content so that you're meeting the needs of all your learners. So that's why it's really important. So moving on to the Quizizz question types and using AI for the question types. We have over 20 different interactive question types. And some of our question types, you can use AI to help you create those questions. And one of our newest features is being able to use AI to help you create labeling questions quicker. So I can model that for you. You can also use AI to do some of these other things. So let me go to the purple create button. And I am going to go to, let's see, let me go to assessments, and I'm going to create from scratch. And I'm going to just, so every time you say create from scratch, it pulls up all of the question types. Let me just show you the matching question type. It is AI enhanced, but I'm also going to show you the newest question type, which was the labeling. Actually, let me show, I want to do, I'm going to do a different one because I want to show you some AI enhanced question types. And let me leave this and go back, and we'll do a multiple choice question type so that you can see. So we'll just say, which planet is closest to Earth? Now here, you're going to get the option to generate your responses with AI. So I'm going to select that, or if you want to just type in your responses, you can. But let's have AI generate our responses based on the question that we asked. So it's come up with 4 different options, and it's selected the correct answer. So you now can modify or edit the question. You can change the question type. You can also add an image. Maybe we want to just add an image of the planets just to make the questions more engaging. So we could add an image. Anytime you are formatting a Quizizz question, you always want to add the point value for the question, anywhere from 1 point to 20. And then, of course, you can always tag your state standards, and you will save the question. So going back to our questions, I want to show you the newest, one of the newest ways that we can use AI with the labeling question. And let's see, you now have the option. You can search for any topic or diagram. So I'm going to search for a blank heart. And so here we go right here. I should have said blank human heart because I want a diagram. And here we go right here. Here's a human heart. So I'm going to tell it to use this image. And now I'm going to have it's analyzing the image, and it is using AI to generate some questions for the label. So it's analyzing the image, and it's creating labels that I can use for this particular image. So I don't have to come up with my own labels. And it has, if I want to use these, identify the parts of the heart, I can just select use. And these will be the labels, or maybe label the valves of the heart. So I'll just use this so that we can see what this looks like. And then I would just have these as an option, and then students could label and pull these in the correct location. And you could also add incorrect labels as an option as well. And of course, you format the same way, add in your points, how many minutes you want students to have in answering this question, and you save your question. And now you are ready to move on and add additional questions. And if you see here, anytime you're creating anything, AI is going to pop up at some point. So I'm going to have it add similar questions using AI. So it says my quiz, this quiz does not contain AI supported questions. So I can convert these to a different question type. So you're going to know what you can or can't do with using the AI to create your questions. So let's publish this, give it a name, a label a heart, and let's choose the subject. We'll just say that this was science, and we'll choose the grade, and we can publish this. And now we're ready to assign it to our students. So what are your thoughts on how we are using AI so far, not only to enhance or modify, but to create our questions? We've already explored AI in creating. So I would love your feedback. I'm going to give you an opportunity to look at a little bit more, because I know we only have about 15 minutes, and I want to make sure you can see all that you can do to help you plan in seconds and not weekends. So we also have a new feature, the AI Quizizz AI Toolkit. Now this is I just saw this yesterday, you all. So this is going to remind you of some more, you probably have seen features like this in some of the other ed tech platforms. And so what Quizizz is doing is really making it easy for teachers to be able to have all of their resources in one place. So this toolkit allows you to access over 20 different AI features that can help you create anything you need to in Quizizz. So what I want to do, and I'm going to go back to, I've shared the link with you to the toolkit, but I also want to just show you where you would find it. So selecting Quizizz AI again, if you scroll down, you have the option here. So if you don't see it, don't worry about it. Just know that this is coming on board. There are a lot of new features coming online in time for back to school. So if I select Explore the AI Toolkit, now I can have AI assist me with planning, questions and assessments, communication, and accommodations. So I can have it help me create math word problems, story-based problems, practice worksheets, even things aligned to Bloom's taxonomy type questions. We've already seen how I can create the DOK level questions, but we can also have it help you with the lesson planning or an evaluation rubric, or even providing accommodations or a student report card feedback. So these are just different tools and features that are available for you. So just get in there and play around with it after this session, because we definitely want you to become familiar with what all you can do using AI. So moving on, that's what teachers can do. There are some things that students can even do with AI, but the great thing about it is that you as the teacher, you have to enable this feature. Students do not automatically have access to AI and Quizizz. You turn this feature on or off. So I'm going to just share with you some of the features that are available for students with AI. So one feature that is available is that the teacher can turn on a feature so that AI can analyze how students did on that particular assessment or activity. And then the students can get guidance or feedback, and then they'll know what they may need to work on. You can also turn on hints whenever you assign an activity, and I'm going to show you where all of this lives. And the hints will work if students get stuck in answering a particular question. If they take a long time or they find a question difficult, they can get hints in helping them answer that question. So this is where you can find these features. Of course, in Quizizz AI again, under for students, creating or building AI literacy for students, you can turn this feature on right here. You would turn this on or off, but I just want to show you the demo. So once you turn it on, after students take an assessment, they can look at their stats to identify their toughest questions, to get maybe things that they were comfortable or had confidence in answering. So it's going to give them feedback on that particular assessment. It's going to also tell them, okay, this was a challenging question for you. These are important things to pay attention to as you answer these multiple select questions. Also, it's going to tell them information about the longest question and how long it took them to answer that question. And these are questions that they may have answered too quickly, but some were incorrect. So it's going to give them that feedback, but also it's going to tell them what they got right, that they are really strong, show strong performance in answering these particular questions. And then you can, of course, you turn this on or off for students. All right. So just having said that, I would love for you to describe your thoughts on Quizizz AI using one or two words. This is our word cloud question type. I see awesome in huge letters. And let's see what else. Helpful. I love these descriptions. These adjectives are very descriptive in defining AI, Quizizz AI. Effective, extremely helpful. So time saver right there. All of these are perfect descriptions for Quizizz AI. So I think you're definitely going to find this as a game changer and a way for you to plan in seconds and not weekends. All right, so next let's look at accommodations. We've talked about AI and how it can support you with creating content, but let's also look at other ways that you can provide support for your students through accommodations. With accommodations, this is a way for us to remove barriers for our students within Quizizz and even to offer personalized support for our students. We see that we can do this with AI enhanced, but accommodations is another way to allow every student to succeed. And students all want to be successful. So this is what it looks like when you, and I'm going to show you real time how you would access it. You can provide accommodations for the basic features in quizzes, from read aloud to giving them extra time to even the questions. We also have math tools. So for our math teachers or science teachers, you can add the scientific or graphing calculator. And for reading supports, we have those where you can have it translate content or give them the bilingual dictionary, or even turn sound effects off or don't show the leaderboard. So this is a great way for us to have our technology compliant for all learners, but also a way for us to increase flexibility and supporting our students. So in order to get to accommodations, one thing that I want to call out is that you have to have your classes in Quizizz. And when I say classes, you can either have, if you have Google Classroom, you can have those classes, or Canvas or Schoology, or you can even create a Quizizz class. But your classes have to be in there. And let me just go to an activity to show you how this works. So I'm just going to pull up this geometry quiz. The first thing you're going to see is whenever you pull up an activity, you may see this option to enable accommodations. It may or may not be checked for you, but you're going to want to check this box one time. You never have to check the box again. So what this does, this allows accommodations to appear every time you either assign an activity for practice or homework or have them do it live in class. And what it will do is going to pull up your rosters from your classes. And I'm going to just edit my roster so you can see real time. The one thing you have to do, this is a one-time activity that you have to do as well. So from my roster, I'm going to select students and their accommodations either based on their IEP or their 504 plan, or sometimes we know our students and we know that they may not even have one of these plans, but they still may need some accommodation. So we can use it for that purpose as well. So say for instance, Jennifer, and based on her IEP, she may need to have more extended time on questions, and she may need to have the read aloud enabled, and she may need to have reduced answer options, just having only 2 choices rather than 4. And we could also save these changes for Jennifer and whoever the other students that may need these changes. Quizizz will automatically create a group for these students along with the accommodations. So you select save one time and it creates this group. Then you'll see the remaining students on your roster. You can just go in and select those students and provide the accommodations they need. Maybe they need the bilingual dictionary, or maybe they need both the scientific calculator as well as the graphing calculator. And they may need to have multiple attempts at answering questions. And we may need to turn off the sound for these students. And we will save these changes. And now it has created the second group of students along with their accommodations, and we'll save this group. You never have to do this step anymore. These accommodations will always be in there. So we just now go through and assign the activity. So once we assign it, we'll see that we have accommodations for our students. And when we select assign, anytime you create an activity in Quizizz, it's going to generate a report and even a reports page. And so for that particular activity that I just assigned for homework or practice, you will see the accommodations tab. So you'll know that you've assigned accommodations for these students. You'll see the group that was created along with those accommodations. And once those students answer the questions, you'll even see their scores. And with this data report, you can share this report with others. You can also email it to parents, download it, or print it. So this is multiple ways that you can also show that you've provided accommodations, but this is a great way for you to just keep record of making sure that you provided the accommodations that all students need. And so that is accommodations. And now we're going to move on to the last AI feature, which is also in reports. Now, we know that we use data for many purposes, and oftentimes we have to spend a lot of time to make sure that we are providing the support that our students need. Now, our teaching assistant can help us analyze this data for us and identify areas where our students struggle with. So this lives in the reports tab, and I'm just going to show you real time what we can get with reports and AI Analyze. It will identify areas where students need improvement It will also identify the students that may have struggled with those specific areas that were identified. And on top of that, it will even identify practice quizzes so that students can work on that particular skill that they may struggle with. So I'm going to show you a video of it in live and in action. And I'm just going to talk over the video so that you can see. Of course, we're going to select the reports tab in Quizizz. We can click any assessment that we've provided, and we're going to scroll down and select the AI Analyze tab. And we're just going to tell it to generate an analysis of the data. And the analytics from AI will begin to look at how students' performance to see if it can provide areas where students struggle. So it's identified 5 areas of improvement. It's identified students that maybe have struggled with simplifying algebraic expressions, improper fractions, and it's even found practice quizzes that I don't have to go to the library to try to find. And I have the option to just assign those practice quizzes to those 4 students that struggle with it on that particular assessment. And so with the click of a button, having AI Analyze generate the assessment, I can now support all of my students towards success. And it has saved me tons of time in analyzing data and being able to provide that feedback for students. So now that we're close to the end, I want to know which Quizizz features are you excited to try immediately? I know I've shown you quite a bit that you can do with AI in Quizizz, from not only creating content to enhancing content, using it for your students, having students use AI, but also in helping you analyze your data. Accommodations, I agree, Elizabeth, that is a great feature to use because you know it's going to support all of your students towards success. All right. Let me see, give a little more time to see AI enhanced questions or quizzes that I previously made. Yes, Jesse, you definitely want to do that. Don't reinvent the wheel, you all. Use those resources that you already have created in Quizizz and just let AI enhance, modify them, repurpose them so that you can make them better, generating quizzes from any documents, web, or more. You all got it. You all have gotten all of the takeaways. Reading prompts and questions. Absolutely. And don't forget that labeling question, especially if you're a math teacher, science teacher, social, actually any teacher can use this labeling question and let generate those labels for you. So this is awesome feedback. So this is open mic time. We have about 5 minutes. Any questions, any overall questions or anything, any concerns before we move on? Because I have some resources to share with you. All right, I'm going to continue on. You can definitely continue your Quizizz learning journey all about AI. Remember, in that Quizizz AI tab, you can become Quizizz AI certified as well. So as a teacher, you can go in there, take this assessment, and learn even more about AI, because this was just an hour and get a chance to show you everything, but you can play around with it. I have some resources for you, and you can definitely bookmark this. If you're in the lesson, you can bookmark this. And once I stop sharing, I'm going to place this link in the chat as well. So you'll be able to have this information as well. I'm going to send out a new link for you. All right, so with that, now you can provide the session feedback. There is a link that I've shared. Use that link that I previously shared in the chat so that you can provide feedback for this session. This was Quizizz AI planned in seconds and not weekends. And once you've done that, we are at the end of the session. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, stop presenting. All right, and so you all, we have like 3 minutes. Any questions, anything? Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me. I'm so glad that this session was helpful for you. So, okay, Daniel, I will share the slides with Jennifer. I'm sure that she has a resource page where you all will be able to access the slides. Yes. Okay, so thank you for sharing the feedback form, you all. And let me share the sign-in form again as well so that you all can sign in, because we definitely want to make sure that you all get your credit. So I'll put this at the end as well. Feedback and sign-in form. Thank you, everyone. I am loving this feedback. How do you do the avatar? So Daniel, I don't know if you're still on, but the avatar automatically is available for students whenever they log into Quizizz, and they can begin, as the more they engage in Quizizz, they get coins, or it's like an incentive for them to engage with whatever content you provided, and they can use that content to provide or to purchase swag for their avatar. So they can change their avatar's clothing. This is another way for that game-based or science of learning, that gamification of learning. So I wanted to go in and answer all of your questions. All right, so loving all of this feedback and saw what you all created. This is awesome, you all. Thank you so much for this. Loving that you were able to find it so easy to use. So thank you so much for everything. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference. Tell your friends I have another session in the morning. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.